Good evening, I'm Tips Mahoy and this is ArthIntel Night Edition. Coming up, mysterious experimental explosion detected off Florida coast sparks earthquake alert. More heat threatens wildfire fight across southwestern Europe. Supreme Court approval hits new low. That plus a check of the weather across the country. The U.S. Geological Survey has detected a 3.9 magnitude experimental explosion off the coast of Flagler Beach, Florida. The event was listed at 0 depth, meaning it likely originated at or near the surface, unlike a typical earthquake. This marks the second such detection in 2 weeks, following a similar event on July 16 near Ponce Inlet, about 20 miles away. That area is known for U.S. Navy full-ship shock trials, and a Navy spokesman confirmed the future USS Ted Stevens completed one of 2 planned trials after the July 16 blast, though the Navy and USGS have not yet commented on Tuesday's event. French authorities ordered 4,000 more people evacuated from Atlantic coast tourist sites Tuesday as fresh flames erupted near a popular beach west of Bordeaux, even as 60,000 others were allowed to return home to areas outside the city. Officials say the Gironde wildfire has burned an area 4 times the size of Paris, forced 220,000 people to evacuate, and destroyed about 150 homes in the town of Le Porge alone. Across France and Spain, roughly 330,000 people have now been driven from their homes by the fires, with Spain bracing for its 4th heat wave of the summer even as some evacuation orders there begin to be lifted. French firefighting officials say the situation remains complicated and warn that rising temperatures could fuel new flare-ups along the fire's vast perimeter. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. Americans' approval of the Supreme Court has dropped to a record low of 33%, according to a new Gallup poll, with disapproval climbing to a record 61%. Gallup says the decline is being driven largely by Republicans, whose approval fell to 58% from 79% last September, following rulings this term against Trump administration policies on tariffs, birthright citizenship, and the attempted removal of a Federal Reserve official. Democrats' approval stands at just 12% and independents at 35%, both near historic lows in Gallup's tracking. Gallup notes this marks the most negative Americans have been about the court in at least 26 years of polling. J. Clayton has been confirmed as the new U.S. Director of National Intelligence. Democrats had initially welcomed Clayton as an alternative to Pult, but soured on him after he repeatedly refused to directly say Joe Biden won the 2020 election, telling senators only that Biden had been certified as winner. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer called Clayton's confirmation hearing performance abysmal, while Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Mark Warner said Democrats were caught between a rock and a hard place. Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader John Thune, defended Clayton's record as former SEC chairman and U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. The Senate has again delayed the Clarity Act, the crypto market structure bill, as Majority Leader John Thune moved instead to advance Trump administration nominees and a Russia sanctions bill. That leaves only a handful of legislative days before the August 8 recess for lawmakers to act. The bill remains stalled over disputes on ethics provisions and enforcement authority. New York Attorney General Letitia James has urged Congress to reject it, saying it would weaken state and local power to pursue crypto fraud, while some Democratic senators want state prosecutors to retain enforcement authority rather than limiting it to the Justice Department. Despite backing from firms including Charles Schwab, BlackRock, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, and Grayscale, market observers now put the odds of the bill passing in 2026 at below 38%. A Financial Times opinion piece argues President Trump's own social media posts are eroding his global influence. The column notes Trump claimed on Truth Social to amend a U.S.-Saudi nuclear deal just a day after it was signed, prompting a Saudi official to respond, quote, "Tweets don't overturn signed agreements." According to the article, that deal itself is controversial. It would allow Saudi Arabia to build a civil nuclear program, including uranium enrichment, without international safeguards. The piece also points to the military campaign against Iran, launched February 28, as a moment when the author says Trump's rhetoric collided with reality. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. Twins outfielder Byron Buxton left Tuesday's 3-2 win over the Royals in the fifth inning with right hip soreness, according to the team. It's the same hip that kept him out of the All-Star game this month, and Buxton had only just been activated from the 10-day injured list on July 20 after missing 9 games with the injury. Manager Derek Shelton says Buxton felt fine going into the game, and the team will have him reevaluated by a doctor. Buxton went 0 for 2 before exiting and is batting .263 with 45 RBIs and 7 stolen bases this season. The defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks are opening training camp in Renton under new offensive coordinator Brian Fleury, who spent the last 7 seasons with the 49ers. Players say the West Coast scheme is largely unchanged, but defensive tackle Leonard Williams says there's noticeably more motion, calling it a challenge to read. According to ESPN research, the 49ers used motion on 71.7% of plays under Kyle Shanahan during Fleury's tenure there, compared to Seattle's 63% rate last season. Meanwhile, rookie running back Jadarian Price has drawn praise from coach Mike McDonald and teammates for his pass-catching ability, as the team waits for Zach Charbonnet to return from ACL surgery. Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Shane Bieber had what he called the worst start of his career Tuesday night against Washington, lasting just 2/3 of an inning while allowing 6 walks and 4 earned runs. Manager John Schneider pulled him in the first inning, and the Blue Jays went on to lose 8-6, dropping to 49-59 on the season. Speaking to reporters afterward, Bieber said he struggled to grip the ball, admitting, "You have to find a way to get through it. This was definitely my worst." With the trade deadline looming August 3rd, the outing is expected to hurt Bieber's value as Toronto looks to deal the impending free agent. Royce Lewis delivered in dramatic fashion Tuesday night, ripping a 2-out, 2-run triple in the bottom of the 9th to lift the Minnesota Twins past the Kansas City Royals 3-2. Taj Bradley kept the Twins in it with 6 strong innings, and Minnesota has now won 3 straight and 5 of its last 6. Kansas City had taken a 2-1 lead in the 6th on a Josh Rojas steal of home and an RBI single from Salvador Perez, but it wasn't enough. The Twins, now 54-54, sit third in the AL Central, just 2 games behind the first-place Chicago White Sox. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. And finally, here's a look at temperatures across the country right now. It's hottest in Phoenix at 97 degrees, while Seattle is the coolest spot on the board tonight at 63. That's ArthIntel Night Edition for now, 10 stories coast to coast. I'm Tips Mahoy for ArthIntel, signal over noise. Visit arthintel.com for the full story. Remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications.